Oh my God, in heaven. It is 10 o'clock on the 10:02 on the west coast of the United States. It is 20:02. No. Man, it's been a long week. Please forgive me. Welcome to CBS After Dark. It is 10:02 p.m. on the west coast of the U.S. It is 06:02 GMT. I'm Sebastian. This is CBS After Dark. Holy motherfucking shit. It's been a really difficult time getting on the air. I keep complaining about the Google software. I reboot and reboot and reboot. It crashes and crashes. Sometimes the text tools don't work. I couldn't get my phone number up here. Other problems are plaguing me, but I'm finally up. I'm finally going, and I know I'm going to be joined by a wonderful guest, my buddy Trunks from The Collective. If you don't know what The Collective is, it's not important. I refer to them usually as the Trekkie chat room, but my buddy from the Trekkie chat room is going to be going on the air with me, kind of just shooting the shit. I would love to predict what we're going to talk about. I'm going to try to keep it to what I've teased, but essentially, there's really no telling. It may be kind of insider baseball tonight. So if you're hoping for more of the Philip Perea saga, you're probably going to have to wait till Sunday night. If you're hoping for the stuff that I teased, I'll get to it. We'll talk to it. We'll talk about it with my buddy. But in the meantime, he's going to call in like 3 or 4 minutes. So I've got a couple of minutes with you before we get started and get completely derailed. We go all kinds of places when I'm talking to my buddy Trunks. What I wanted to talk about tonight, a couple of things. Let me sort of scroll down to my news. All right, let's do this really fast. The 50 Fox News lies and the research truth. Yeah, it comes from the Jon Stewart show, The Daily Show on Comedy Central. I'm trying not to just rip him off, but this was so profound. And I've had so many arguments with people who think, Fox News, it's a legitimate news. It's not a legitimate news source. It's an entertainment source. It's an entertainment source. It, masturbates the old conservative people into feeling, intelligent and powerful and in touch with the news. But in fact, nothing could be further from the truth, as evidenced by what I'm about to put on the screen. We will also talk about a conspiracy theory that I got in a fight with about somebody today. We will talk about other things as well. But what I want to switch to first is this screen. Look at that. All right, there's the Google screen. Here is the... oh gosh, every one of my pages has crashed. Can you tell? It's just beautiful. But essentially, Huffington Post had the video. I'm not going to play the video. I think it'll actually shut me down if I try to play the video. But Stewart did his homework, according to Huffington Post. In 2013, more children died drowning in bathtubs than were killed by guns. Here's the actual 50 lies. You can find it on the Comedy Central page, on the Daily Show page, on the Comedy Central webpage. Jon Stewart gifts, there's all kinds of stuff. This is not what I wanted to bring to you, though, because there was a page where, this is the page, I think. Yes, hopefully it was PolitiFact. Somebody completely, Tampa Bay Times. All right, they kind of went through all 50 lies. I mean, it was 50 lies Fox News did in about 6 seconds. So here they are. In July 2010, the government says small business, 60% will lose their health care, 45% of big businesses, and a large percentage of individual health. Sean Hannity, 2013, false. And if you click it, there's a link. Again, if you're able to watch this, look at the website here. There are many websites that sort of linked to the Vine video, the 6 seconds of 50 lies. They go by so fast, it's impossible to read any of them unless you freeze frame it. But this page, politifact.com, and if you just pick the one in the Google search that is from politifact.com, you'll be able to see all of them. And by the way, they're all researched. This is not just sort of here's the first one, for instance. Sean Hannity says government predicted massive loss of healthcare. Each one of them is an in-depth article from what seems to me to be a pretty legitimate news source. In this case, Sean Hannity's it's called a mistake, but essentially it's something that was not true. That was, sort of purported to be news on Fox News Channel. But guess what? We all know Fox News Channel is a bunch of shit. Now, unfortunately, we don't all know that. How do I know we don't all know that? Because Fox News does really well in the ratings on Fox News Channel. That's something that's really disappointing to probably most of us. Anyway, I don't want to go on and on about it. Jon Stewart did it. It was his genius that this is. I don't want to rip off his genius, but if you want to sort of go into it, God, it's worth going into. If me and Trunks get done before the end of the hour, this is what I'll finish up with. This is something else I wanted to talk about. A black hole. And no, I don't mean Bill O'Reilly. No, this is actually a black hole bigger than Bill O'Reilly. Is it possible? Well, yeah, as a matter of fact, it is. A black hole 12 billion times more massive than the sun. Guess what? Here he is, the one and only Tosk. Trunks? Are you Trunks or Tosk? I've forgotten now.
I go by both.
You're what?
I go by both.
You go by both. Oh, okay, fantastic. You're gonna have to forgive me. I'm thinking the state you're in, North Carolina, right?
South Carolina.
South Carolina. God damn it! I knew it was 50-50, and I knew it was gonna be one or the other. And I hope I'm not sort of revealing your secret location or anything. But joining me on the phone right now, Mr. Trunks, known in the what I refer to as the Trekkie chat room on this show. But we go way back. How far back do we go? At least 5 years.
What's that?
We go back like 5 years, something like that.
Oh man, 5 years, I'd say.
Yeah, I think it's about right. I mean, it's 2015 now. We've been around since I want to say 2011. So maybe I guess that was
casting since. I've been casting since 07.
Casting since 07. I went back and looked. The first sort of promo I ever produced for one of these illegal kind of streaming channels was for Downlord in I don't even remember where he is. Yeah, I do. He's in the Netherlands. Downlord is in the Netherlands, and I produced a promo for him. My first one was like in early 2011, I think. But I think we were knowing. I think I knew people from there, and probably you. I knew you from there before even 2011. So it's probably been about 5 years that we know each other. What the hell are you doing, man? I know we were actually. Somebody mentioned where the hell is Trunks lately, or has anybody seen Trunks? How have you been?
I've been doing good, man. Just had some family issues and passings in the family.
We talked about that earlier. My condolences to you for that. Obviously, that sucks. I haven't had any passings. That's one of the things that makes me feel like even though my life is kind of shit right now, at least I haven't had anybody die. At least I'm not terminally ill. I'm pretty lucky compared to people who have had, their mother die, or I know people who have gotten very, very sick recently. People are undergoing chemotherapy or whatever. Like, there's a lot of people way worse off than me. I try to keep that in fucking perspective,
Right. But Trunks is still around.
Trunks is still around.
I've tried casting to the site, and I've just had some issues with my computer casting, and with family stuff and this, that, and the other going on. So,
but tell me.
Hopefully, I should.
I was going to say, tell me about your Magic acquisition. You're playing Magic tonight, is that right? I'm not even sure I really understand that game. I know it's a card game.
It is a card game. Yeah.
Okay.
Magic the Gathering.
Magic the Gathering. And is it like, I mean, are you a watcher of the Big Bang Theory? Is it like kind of the games they play on that? I think that's a made up game, but they sort of, they play cards that have,
That's what they based it on, where you like loses to Will Wheaton or whatever.
Yes, exactly.
He's like, oh, my grandmother died, and he like stops playing, and he's like, oh, I'm so sorry, and then that's the same. It's based on Magic the Gathering.
That's a classic episode, by the way. You gotta love Will Wheaton,
but they can't copyright it and actually say Magic on there and stuff like that. But like the bunny that attacks or stuff like that.
Yeah,
they're basically.
There was one or two early episodes of The Big Bang Theory where they couldn't say Justice League of America. If you notice very closely, they say like Justice Society of America or something like that. And it's like, what the hell? Wow.
I was over at my buddy P's house. His name's actually Zach, but I call him P. And we were playing paper Magic.
Paper Magic.
Actually, the physical cards, but I mostly play online.
Online.
Magic.
So there's online Magic too. God, that's news to me. I did not know that.
Yeah, you can play Magic online.
I imagine that would be more fun. That would be more fun for me.
That's when you see like me and Hedros talking about cards and stuff online, and like Tree Folk and stuff like that. That's what we're talking about.
The great Hedros. Ah, yes, what a guy. He actually. What are your feelings? Let me just tell you. Let me just ask you this. You're a smart guy. I know you to be. Yeah, you got your neurons firing in the proper like sequence and shit. What are your feelings on conspiracy theories?
Conspiracy theories?
In particular, 9/11.
9/11. I don't believe there was
Thank you. That's all I wanted to hear you say. I was just making sure because we had a blow up in the chat room today where somebody was espousing 9/11 conspiracy theories. They're talking about thermite and nanothermite and super thermite, and you know the government wanted a mandate to go to war and blah blah blah. And I'm like, oh God. Unfortunately, when I debunked it, like, you know, with the kind of snap of a finger, I wasn't even trying really hard because I was eating breakfast cereal. I was eating a bowl of frosted mini wheats, but this guy went to, he changed his screen name to cBas Needs to Get AIDS and Die. I found that particularly entertaining.
I mean, I don't think we needed to blow up our own buildings to attack them and take care of that kind of thing.
I don't think so either.
It's even worse when they're beheading people. They weren't beheading people back then. Now they're fucking cutting people's heads off for no reason. And
exactly.
It's just like, yeah, we're letting them do it, and we're doing nothing about it. And it's like, that pisses me off.
Yeah, I mean, the great Bill Maher on HBO was talking about, yes, they're doing that. On the other hand, how come the Muslim world can't unify and sort of band together and sort of fight that fight? Why does it have to be the U.S. every time? But at the same time, now it feels like we are kind of into it. So, you know, I mean, I guess the real problem is that you can't just carpet bomb Damascus or whatever, because it's not like they're all there. You're going to kill a lot of innocent women and children. And then there's going to be more people who hate us because what's the problem? The problem is they're uneducated. They're only allowed to read one book. They're only allowed to go to, you know, only boys are allowed to go to school, and they're only allowed to learn about, you know, the Islamic law or whatever. Right. I mean, there's no way to carpet bomb that out of existence, I feel like, which is why it's such a, you know, shitty problem.
You can't bomb. You can bomb a city. You can't bomb an idea.
Sort of, yeah.
And
I mean,
we're being given an idea.
Exactly.
So,
well, also, I don't want to get serious the whole night. I just wanted to run you by that because that was sort of the highlight of my day, was seeing people, because I said, you know, 9/11 probably is not a conspiracy, and, you know, it's been debunked to my satisfaction, those conspiracy theories. Not only that, but to claim that it was like a U.S. government thing and blah, blah, blah. I feel like that shits on the a little research before the show. One of the things I read, one of the conspiracy theory websites actually says, aha, that is a tactic that the conspirators use to say that it shits on the memory of the loved ones and it shits on the memory of the deceased. That is a tactic by the co-conspirators. And I'm like, there is literally nothing you can fucking say that these people will accept. You know? It's like,
there's some people that are out there like that.
I guess so.
If there's people out there that will cut people's heads off, there's people out there that will believe whatever they want to believe.
And that's the thing. I also rewatched the Penn and Teller episode about conspiracy theories, where they debunk the conspiracy about the moon landing. They debunk the conspiracy about the JFK assassination, and they go to town on 9/11 too. But, you know, it's like these people who say, aha, there are no stars in the pictures that they took on the moon. And it's like, you know, if you know anything about cameras, you know about exposure, and they didn't go to the moon to take pictures of the sky. They went to the moon to take pictures of the fucking moon.
Right.
It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, the only thing that gets me about the moon landing, I'm not saying it was bunk or anything like that, but that was in 1969.
Yeah.
I haven't been back since. I haven't done anything close to it. That's been like, what, 31, 41, going on 50 years now.
Yeah, I feel like, don't you feel like that's more of a,
that bothers me.
I mean, that bothers me, but I think it's
bunk or anything like that.
I got you.
Like,
I got you.
Jesus Christ, in 69 we went to the moon, and it's like 2015, and we're doing nothing.
Not only are we
to Mars.
Not only are we doing nothing, we're doing less than we were before because the space shuttle program's over. You know, but I feel like part of the problem is the conservative people who say, you know, we should be spending that money here on Earth. You know, fuck discovery, fuck scientific inquiry. We need to, you know, spend more money on defense. Well, guess what? We spend more money on defense than like the next 26 countries, 25 of whom are our allies, and yet it doesn't seem to change much.
Do anything.
You know, I mean, Yeah, we have the rockinest military in all of the world, but you know, we spend more than 26 the other next 26 countries combined, and 25 of them are our allies. And you know, I feel like that's kind of ludicrous. Let's have some fun. Tell me about your favorite Star Trek episode. I'm just throwing that at you out of the blue, but like, what's your favorite Star Trek series? First of all, there's 5 of them.
Well, you should already know which one my favorite is.
I think I do. I think you're going to say it's Deep Space Nine.
That is correct.
Let me rack my brain for a second. I almost feel like I've asked you this before, but your favorite one? No, your favorite episode is the stoned Scotty episode of the animated Star Trek cartoon.
Yes, that not many people know of.
No, nobody knows about that except hardcore.
Very rare episode to find, and to find somebody that actually knows about the animated series.
Yeah.
Yes, the Stone Scotty episode when he's singing, he's like, "Oh, or whatever the fuck he's doing."
Well,
he's like, and Uhura's like, "Yeah, you're relieved, you're done."
Yeah. Why don't you go down and order some Tribble coffee or something, because this is not.
Yeah, and Scotty's like, "Yeah, lovely.
Yeah. Oh. I mean, that's just.
Yeah, man, it's just the look on his face.
Yeah.
For anybody that's listening, I mean, if you could actually see the episode and see the look on his face, I swear to God, they threw him stoned as hell. His eyes were squinted. He was like grinning. He was like, "Yeah."
I want to go. I'm looking at YouTube real fast. Star Trek animated Scotty, and I just want to see if maybe there's a clip of it that might pop up here.
The episode name was The Lorelei Signal.
The Lorelei Signal. All right, then.
Lorelei.
Yeah.
The Lorelei Signal.
I'm familiar.
That was the name of the episode.
Let me pull it up here really fast. There's all kinds of Star Trek animated series clips and stuff on here. Bless you. Whew. That I could feel that one from this far away. That was almost seismic. That was almost like a seismic event, that burp. No, actually, my thing what I do that on the air. I'm drinking Mountain Dew pretty much every night when I'm on the air to sort of, keep my energy up, because it's kind of late in the night, and I'm, but what I do is I will belch, and I will do this. Brought to you by Belch Beer. And then that's sort of a stupid joke. Come on, Lorelei Signal, Lorelei Signal, Lorelei Signal. You know that Beyond the Farthest Star is on here like 900 times. Lorelei Signal is nowhere to be found.
That's like the first or second episode where they go back to the little time rip thing.
Yeah.
That's like the first or second episode.
Lorelei Signal. You know what I could do is just sort of get. Oh wait, no, that's just like a commercial for it. The abridged sort of animated one. You know what I want to do is go to images.google.com, because that'll have it.
Yeah.
If I go Lorelei,
it would be. You'd have to look under. You Googled it. You probably have to look under like Star Trek animated series and.
Oh, nah, check it out. If you have it on your screen at all, I think I found it. Let me see if I can switch my camera feed over to it, because I think you'll have to tell me. And again, I think there's probably a 30-second delay between when I'm talking and when it will come up on the screen. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure this is how this image is labeled. While under the influence of the Lorelei Women's Probe Signal, Chief Engineer Montgomery Scott shows his Scottish origins when
exactly right.
He sings a romantic Scottish blah blah blah.
The land of mine, I'll do my thing. He just keeps saying it, and he's so fucking stoned.
Yeah, he does. He's completely freaking stoned. These are images from that cartoon episode. It's where sort of these women kidnap the men and they make them get old so they can retain their youth.
Yeah.
But the great thing is there like a whole crew of Enterprise women go down to rescue Captain Kirk and Spock and stuff.
Close to it. That's not it, but that's close to it.
Okay. Well, that's because
that's not quite it, but that's close to it. That's pretty much it. I mean, look at him. That motherfucker's stoned.
He's completely stoned, and you know, the great James Doohan's voice. And you know, I don't know how it is. I think they managed to do. Here's my problem. Whenever I see like drawn or animated visions of Captain Kirk or Mr. I feel like people who are artists who draw Spock usually do a pretty good job. I feel like nobody ever nailed William Shatner or Captain Kirk very well. I feel like, but on the cartoon they managed to. I don't know how.
But yeah, that's the pretty much the best image you're gonna get. And that's where he's like, yes, lovely. He just keeps singing.
It's just. I mean, it's priceless.
You've been on us with the collective. You've been on me with the cast, and you've heard. I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's just funny to me because, you know, we kind of, what we do is we gather and we enjoy the same things over and over. And this thing is just one of those endless sources of fucking entertainment where we just, I mean, we can watch this thing and piss our pants laughing from across the country or from even like internationally, because we got friends in Europe and I was in Mexico last time you and I talked. It was just, I mean, it's priceless. And I could just talk about Star Trek all night long. What are your feelings?
It's one of those things when I start casting, people ask me, they're like, "Are you going to show Stone Scotty?"
Please
I'm like,
play Stone Scotty. They don't even
sure.
They don't even know the real name of the episode.
Just the way, from what I've cast, because me and Hedros, another caster, are usually the only ones that show the animated series.
And that is a tragedy also.
They're like, "Oh, will you show Stone Scotty? Everybody loves that episode." And I'm like, "All right, I'll do it." You know, yeah, cool. And whenever it comes on, everybody's like, "He's awesome."
And by the way, that is how that episode is now known. Nobody calls it the Lorelei signal. Everybody calls it the Stone Scotty episode.
Yeah. Well, that's because of me, probably.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. I mean, that goes to show how sort of pervasive and what a sort of I don't know. how far back we go and what an effect you've had. You, my friend, have had a profound effect on this group of Star Trek nerds that likes to enjoy this. I'm sorry, this crappy cartoon from the Filmation people in 1974 or 1971 or whatever year they made that.
1976.
76, so it was during my lifetime.
It was either 74, 75, or 76.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
I was born in...
it was about 10 years after the original series went on.
Roughly,
so
yeah.
Around there.
And I always like to sort of...
And then after they did the animated series, when they released EMP motion picture.
Right. Yeah. They had about 5 years. And I mean, it was during that 5 years after the cartoon... Sorry, hold on. I have to do another sponsorship for Belch Beer. It went away. No, but between that 5-year period of the end of the cartoon and the movie, they went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth about, will it be a TV show? Will it be a movie? Will it be a TV show? Will it be a low budget movie? Will it be a blockbuster motion picture? And if you've ever watched like the DVD extras on Star Trek 1, the V'ger movie, God.
No, I have the gold version.
That is a train wreck, that story. I mean, I think Gene Roddenberry fired the writer 4 or 5 separate times or caused him to quit by rewriting his shit and not saying he rewrote it. Like he would pass out pages of the script for this movie that he had rewritten, but that he would still have the author's name on it, even though Gene Roddenberry had changed it. And frankly, from all accounts, Gene Roddenberry kind of fucked it up.
Right.
So tell me your thoughts. One of the other controversial Star Trek topics is always this J.J. Abrams bullshit. Are you a fan or not? You're not. I know. I was going to ask that in a kind of innocent way, like I didn't know the answer. You are not a fan of J.J. Abrams, right?
I enjoyed the 2009 movie, as I like to call it.
Yeah,
it was all right. It did kind of tie some aspects in, but it did totally different. I haven't seen the second one. I have refused to watch the one with Khan in it or whatever.
Yeah, me too.
In my mind, it would just totally disrespect Star Trek 2, which is like the best Star Trek movie ever made.
I'm sorry, you're absolutely correct. Yeah. And by the way, I refuse
to watch it. I refuse to watch any other incarnation of Khan other than Ricardo Montalban.
Absolutely.
He is Khan. He is Khan.
He is Khan and always was. And I mean, what do you say? I know what I say, and I've ranted about it many times. What do you say to people who are like, well, come on, man, like we needed to reboot this so new people will get into Star Trek. The kids were, the kids thought that 60s show was shit, and these movies were boring and had pacing problems and yada, yada, yada. They don't have these people who say Star Trek needed the reboot so it could stay alive, fail to understand that there is a franchise, there's a core thing that makes it Star Trek that needs to be honored. And I think the argument that goes on is that J.J. Abrams fails to honor this franchise. He fucks it up.
I mean, let's introduce some lens flares and that'll make everything better. They did the same movie, but there's lens flares. Oh, that makes it so much better. It's all good now.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that bothers me, are we going to see lens flares in this upcoming Christmas time Star Wars movie?
We're not even going to broach that subject.
I know, because here's the thing. One of the other things I know about you during my previous phone interview with you on the internet was that Empire Strikes Back was like the movie you were more or less reared on, right? Like it's the movie that made you stop crying as a little baby in the playpen.
Yes. Yes, in 1980 when I was born.
Right.
And my parents would show me, or 1981 or whatever it came out on Beta back then. Back then it was Beta.
God. Betamax?
There was no DVD. There was no Blu-ray. We're talking about like Beta players with the wired remotes.
The wired remotes.
Things. Yeah. And I was crying and my family, well, it wasn't Empire Strikes Back. It was more Star Wars. My mother and father would put Star Wars, excuse me, on the TV where I could like see it from my crib, and I would stop crying because I would watch Star Wars and I'd be enthralled by it.
Yes.
If you'll got my love of Star Wars from, and then it came from there to Empire, and then from Empire to Jedi when I was like 3 years old when Jedi came out, and from there on I've been a Star Wars. And it's hard to believe that somebody could be a Star Wars fan and a Star Trek fan at the same time.
You know what?
It's rare, but
I think that is considered to be rare. I think that's considered to be very rare, but I totally consider myself a Star Wars and Star Trek fan at the same time. In fact, one of my talk show host buddies back on the radio, I still have the recording. He's like, wait, so cBas, you go both ways on Star Trek?
That's it right there. That's it. I'm sorry. I think we're on a delay, but that Beta player right there.
Oh, this first
one right there at the top.
The first one?
Yeah, that one right there at the top. Yeah, right there at the top with the wired remote.
Yes. Oh, I gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
The one we used to have.
Man.
We put the Beta player in, and we'd have the wired. I mean, we're talking about the remote that was wired into the Beta player. We're not talking about a wireless remote. That one right at the top. That one right there.
Yeah, the wireless. Yes. I mean, and I remember wired remotes. We never had a Beta player.
VHS had two spindles on the tape. Betas only had one.
Right.
That ran through. And that one right there, yes, it had a wired remote that was actually wired into the hard drive. Yeah, that one right there. Yeah.
Amazing. It says the Sony Remote Commander. And I mean, Betamax was one of those formats that was weird because while it never got real popular at home use, like TV stations used Beta almost exclusively to videotape the news and videotape, like field news and stuff like that. Beta was a popular format in professional contexts.
Right. But at home concept, it never took off.
At home, I mean, but you had one, and that's what makes that story so deliciously retro.
I still have Beta tapes of Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back that if I had a Beta player, put it in, I could play it right now. I still have my Nintendo from 1985 when I was 5 years old. My father was like, played Atari. And my father was into video games. And he played Atari and stuff like that. We had an Atari. And he bought a Nintendo, but he gave it to me, basically. And I still have it to this day. I still have the Nintendo I had from 1985. Still have Mario Brothers, still have Zelda, all that shit.
Nintendo. I mean, you're talking about the original Nintendo. With that little door that opened and the little clickety click.
Yeah, like blowing the cartridge type thing and put it in. Yeah, I still have my Nintendo to this day.
Okay, I got to ask you about that because I'm switching to images of the Nintendo here. I think this is the one you're talking about. I'm sure you're going to say it's the right one. Why did you have to blow on the cartridges? Was there something like it didn't make contact at all?
Most people do. I'm just saying after so many years, most people are just like, oh, it won't go in, it won't play right. Blow on the cartridge, put it in, and it'll go right. It's actually in the positioning of the cartridge to the filament on the Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
It's different. That's why they have one, like, if you look at a cartridge, like if you take an old Nintendo cartridge out,
yeah,
like the old square ones they used to have, and with the opening, you'll see a little gold filament in it, and they have to touch just right on the player.
Right.
Yeah, that one right there, the very first one. That one right there.
I think are we even seeing this the little
day.
wait, that's not it. I think, but what I'm seeing is like the hole where the contacts, like you say, the gold filaments or the little places where it made contact with the machine were.
Right.
There we go. This is what I'm trying to pull up.
That's where it got the contact with the machine and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yes, I still have my Nintendo from 1985. I still have it to this day.
And does it function?
I would.
Does it function? Can you play it?
To this day. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Badass.
I still play Zelda. I still play Mario. All kind of games on it.
That is badass. My thing was not, we never had a Nintendo and we never had an Atari when I was a kid. I was a computer geek nerd type person, and the computer I had, I'll show you a picture of it. It was the TI 99 4A, Texas Instruments 99 4A.
Yeah. Green screen.
It was like a cyan blue. Here's a picture with Bill Cosby with one. It hooked up to your TV just like the Nintendo did, and it took cartridges kind of similar to the Nintendo. It also had a speech synthesizer. If you're looking at the video, that's this box on the right.
Haven't got there yet.
The funny thing about it, here's the great thing. That TI 99 game, there's two funny things about it. First of all is that I have the emulator for it on my computer that I'm casting this from. So I can actually run all of the cartridges and shit that I used to play as a small child. And the power of the computers today is like orders of magnitude.
Yes, I remember that. You slid it into the slot there.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember that.
And
yes, I remember that.
There was a Star Trek game. And the Star Trek game,
and it was like a side scroller.
Yeah. And it was sad because the Star Trek game, they could not say the letter P. So what you would hear is this kind of Spockish kind of voice that would be like, "Welcome aboard, Captain." It would not be able to say captain. It would say Captain. And it's like, Captain? What the fuck? It's so weird. That's the computer I had when I was a child. And then when I was in middle school, do you remember the Commodore 64?
The Commodore 64, yeah, with the round the round turn.
It kind of had a round keyboard, rounded keyboard like on the front of it. Yeah. And it had these pips. If you looked at the front of the computer keys, I don't know if I can find one that's high resolution enough on Google here, but the fronts of the keys, like the keys all had letters on the top, like every keyboard always has had. But on the front surface, the surface of the key that faced the user had like card pips, like clubs and hearts and diamonds and spades and shit. It was really bizarre.
Yeah, but you could use on like match and stuff like that.
Could you? I didn't know that. See, I never.
I know what you're talking about.
I never had my own Commodore 64, but I have a great story about the Commodore 64. You could actually see the characters I'm talking about. The letters are on the keys, but on the front surfaces of the keys, sort of the sides, you can see these squares and pips and stuff. My story is when I was in middle school, I was sort of the computer geek. I helped run the computer lab. There were, I think, 2 computer labs. One of them was Macintosh, the old Macintosh, the original, and then one of them was C64. Maybe that's not true. No, it wasn't Macintosh yet. It was Apple IIe. We had an Apple IIe lab and a Commodore lab, and I once dropped a Commodore 64 down a fucking flight of stairs, and it was fine. That's the kicker to that story, is it functioned perfectly after this computer unit. It was all one computer. The keyboard was all part of the computer unit. And it was fine. It was it was indestructible, those things.
Right. Yeah. You can't do that these days.
No, I've dropped computers, and no, you cannot. I dropped my MacBook a couple of times. And it's not dead, but it's dented badly.
Like I said, but if for anybody, I'll go ahead and say this right now. For anybody that's out there on the collective that might be listening, Star Car is not dead.
The Star Car is not dead. Let's talk about the Star Car for a second, because it's your channel. So many of us each had like our own channel that we like to put stuff on. Some of them were on 24/7. Some of them were on, you know, when you felt like it. Yours was always kind of a specialty channel where you played that one Star Trek cartoon and then music videos.
You're right. Yeah, my Duran.
And it's great shit. Great shit.
And
classic shit.
And then when we would get flock with the flock of seagulls.
Oh, yes. Absolutely. And then you'd play occasional, like the Quark episode of Deep Space. Which Quark episode of Deep Space Nine did you play?
The one where they play the game.
Oh.
Tula.
Move Along Home.
We had to roll, and they had to go through the maze and all that kind of stuff.
Alamarain, count 2, 4. Alamarain, then 3 more. Alamarain. If you can see Alamarain, you'll come with me.
Alamarain, 2 tests more. Alamarain, keep on 4. Alamarain. If you can see Alamarain, you'll come with me.
We just did it, and I don't know if you realize we were kind of doing it the way that they did it in the show, which was you were doing it at a different time than I was doing it. God, that was fucking perfect. We could not have timed that any better if we tried. That was tremendous. So you said the Star Car is not, that's the name of your channel, the place where you stream the stuff that Trunks likes to stream and watch and enjoy with other nerds across the world. What's to come for it? If it's not dead, are you're going to get it back up? What are you going to play? You're going to play the same old stuff? You're going to put new stuff? What do you think?
Well, it was supposed to come back on. It came back on like about 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago. I came back on and I had DS time. But I wasn't able to like monitor it, stuff like that. And
right.
This is an old computer I'm using right now, so it's like broken down a little bit. So, but as far as the Star Car goes, if it comes back on, it's going to be mostly Deep Space Nine, which is, of course, what it was before. And just for anybody that's out there listening, the Star Car is named the Star Car because my buddy Kayak Khan, and let's just go and put the PSA out there. Don't be like Kayak Khan.
I think you're right.
Don't be like Kayak Khan.
Don't be like Kayak Khan.
He named it, don't be like Kayak Khan. He named his channel the Star Trek. And this goes back to a time when there were wars going on JTV where we used to broadcast.
Yeah.
And it came up, and then like Yahweh, Downlord, all of them just decided they just didn't want to do it anymore. So Kayak Khan and myself, Trump, decided we'd take up the mantle.
Right.
And we cast the Star Trek. And Kayak Khan did The Next Generation, and I did Deep Space Nine.
Right.
And he named his cast the Star Trek. And so therefore, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to name mine the Star Car.
Yes.
Because he was a Star Trek. So that's where the name originated from. And it's been that way ever since. And I still do DS9. As far as I know, he still does TNG.
I think he does.
He has another channel that still does like random sci-fi episodes like Firefly or...
yeah, he does. Truck and Truck 2. If I'm not mistaken,
yeah.
The Star Truck, the name of the channel that was called Star Truck came from... and I'm a nut for not knowing the cartoon. I think the cartoon was Animaniacs, where it was like
I don't know where it is. Yes, it was. But they had in the Animaniacs, they had a animated Enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
They went on one time that they were like on there one time, and it was like a truck as the fuselage of the Enterprise.
Right.
Not the sails and stuff, but the fuselage of the Enterprise was like a truck, and like the saucer and then the sails were still on there.
All right, so I'm gonna set this up really fast for the people who are watching who have no fucking idea what we're talking about. There were Justin TV was this site where I guess the idea originally was you could play a game and stream it. Now, in the way that professional skateboarding kind of became a thing during my lifetime, where there was a time when somebody suggesting that you could skateboard and get paid for it was as realistic as saying you could beam up to the Starship Enterprise. Well, now there are channels where people play video games and other people, I guess with no lives, pardon me for saying that if that's bullshit, but people watch other people play video games. Now, to me, that's like watching flies fuck. That's like watching flies fuck, as George Carlin once said. I get more excited picking out socks, but people do this, and people took that technology where you can stream a game that you're playing and have an audience watch you play a video game. People kind of corrupted that, and we started streaming Star Trek reruns to each other. And it was great. Well, then the thing I thought that was missing from that equation was, this is like a TV channel, okay? You got a TV channel, it's got a name, it's got an identity. What it needs is a commercial that comes on in between the episodes that, like in an announcer voice, says, "You're watching the Downlord channel." And then what you need is animation, and you need a little graphical thing.
And that's what me and you did.
Yes.
That's what we instituted the bump.
Exactly.
We started on the Trunks channel, because you started it with like the Tosk stuff, and then all that kind of thing, and then it went to the Kayakon PSAs.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to play. I'm going to play one really fast. The next 60 seconds, I'm going to be quiet, and I'm going to play the one that was. We kind of did it in the style of the PBS pledge break. You'll enjoy this. Enjoy this really fast for 60 seconds here. It's kind of.
All Star Trek, all night, is made possible by grants from the Ferengi Commerce Authority, the Borg, the Sheliak Corporate, Kayakon, and the Star Trek Channel moderators, the Arthur W. Tosk Charitable Trust,
Arthur W. Tosk Charitable Foundation, yes.
And Backleds Like You.
All Night continues right now.
That's all me.
Yep.
Sci-Fi Network.
And if you recognize that voice, that was yours truly, cBas, doing the, putting on the radio voice, doing the announcer thing as best as I could in the PBS style, right? That was the.
You should do the Tosk is watching Tosk.
You're right. I should. Let me find that really fast, because that was the kicker, the original idea. And we're sitting there in a chat room being stupid and talking to each other going, you know what we should do? We should make it like the PBS ones where they said, viewers like you, thank you. And, we just kind of were making each other laugh with this text. And then as time went on and I became more proficient with Final Cut Pro and the graphics module, the thing that you can create your own graphics with that, then I started doing all these personalized bumps for all these personalized channels. Here is the best one. It is the Tosk one. It's like the original one I did for your channel. And I'm gonna put it up. So I'm gonna be quiet for like 45 seconds here, and we're gonna listen to it. And if you're watching and you have no idea what this is, just bear with me, because if you're outside the Trekkie nerd sort of conglomerate that we're part of, then you have no idea what this is. But if you do know, you're gonna pee your pants, because this is goddamn entertaining, and it's really funny shit that we didn't get paid for this.
How many times is this?
I will do that. I will do that next. Yeah, I know. And it's funny because I have not smoked pot in quite some time, but I mean, that was sort of, I think, the lubrication that made all this happen was probably a bit of the herb. Here is the original Tosk promo, and I got to tell you, Mr. Trunks, I could not be prouder of this. If I like, I mean, this is such hilarious, solid shit. Anyway, enjoy this on the cast here.
How many times has this happened to you? It's late. You're in some strange quarters on some strange space station halfway across the galaxy. What to do? You're not hungry for something from the replicator. No, you want to be entertained. But what to watch?
Still hasn't come on here, but
you're so handsome. Even Tosk is watching Tosk.
And yeah, I the video from, that was sort of the part of it, was I took the video from this episode of Deep Space Nine where the character was Tosk. Tosk was sort of the, I don't know, the identity you had assumed. I think your channel was even called Tosk at that point, right?
It was Tosk. It was.
And so when even Tosk is watching Tosk, that kind of, you know, in that stoner haze, that's what came to us as we were generating these sort of self-promotions for these things. It's years in the past, this was. But, I mean, not only was it enormous fun, I think it was...
He's so handsome.
He's so handsome. Well, he's watching himself, right?
And then the whole, you're my dirty little secret.
Yeah, I don't know what made me choose All American Rejects for sort of the soundtrack, the tagline of that, but it all just kind of came together. And I just wanted it to be different and unique. And frankly, I stumbled onto it by accident because the original one I did was very, very simple. It wasn't even video. It was sort of like a moving still graphic. You know, it was just a still of the Starship Enterprise, like zooming out or whatever. It was not a motion. It was not a video. And it was for Downlord. It was the Downlord channel. And I remember going on with my radio voice, "You're watching the Downlord channel." And people in the chat room went fucking ape shit. Like, I really cannot overstate this. People were so surprised. I mean, me and my radio job, I had this voice that I guess impresses people. Bless everybody for saying they think I have a nice voice. But beyond that, people were astounded by kind of the professionalness of it. Like, I was just fucking around. But people could not believe it took these channels, these illegal streaming channels that we were streaming to each other, Star Trek reruns, and kind of took the ones that had these promos into another level, right? Suddenly you're watching something that's not, let's almost like a regular TV channel with station identification and whatever the hell, but it's completely personalized. It's kind of a joke on regular TV identification in a way, but at the same time, it's almost as good a quality as you're going to see on any kind of medium or large market TV station, if I do say so myself. And goddamn, it was fun. Goddamn, it was fun.
Especially if you can find it, do the top 10.
Oh, I can do the top 10.
That's one of our greatest collab. I think that's our greatest collaboration.
Again, because
that.
Because
I mean, everybody universally loves that one. It's just like everybody can associate just something on that list.
If you are a Trekkie, you will appreciate this probably more than any of this, because what we did, again, we're in a chat room. You have to picture this, right? We're in a chat room together. He's on the East Coast. I was on the West Coast, and what we did.
We were on the phone at the time.
We were
on the phone with it.
Is that what it was? All right. Let me just try and find top 10. And we were kind of writing this, collaborating this together. I remember saying I wanted to do like a comedy skit. It's about 2.5 minutes long, but I wanted it to be a top 10 list of some kind, but I didn't have it.
Right.
And like, I think originally it was going to be like your top 10 favorite episodes or something, but I realized that.
It was. And then I was like, oh, let's do foods, and this was like make it wacky.
No, I remember. I remember tossing the food thing out at you because you were saying, okay, I'd like it to be, you know, the such and such scene from the original series and this scene from the animated series, and I'm like, dude, I don't have the entire collection. Like, I might have the DVDs somewhere, but we're really limited to what clips are already on YouTube. So then I got thinking, and we need this is kind of all over the place. We're kind of, you know, all over the place with this. We need something to kind of center it on. And I just threw out of the top of my stoner head at the time, I was like, all right, let's just do your top 10 Star Trek foods or something. And you made a list. Yeah, you made a list, and we sort of started writing it together. And then I started looking for the clips, and again, I'm going to switch to it here. We're going to enjoy it for the next 2.5 minutes. It's almost time for me to get off the air. In the next 9 minutes, I'll be done. But here, enjoy on the cast here. You, my viewer, will enjoy the top 10 foods from Star Trek, courtesy of my friend who's on the phone here, Trunks, and my stupid self at the time. But not stupid. This is a work of art. I'm sorry, it just is.
It's a classic.
Here we go. Brought to you by the Star Trek Sci-Fi Network with the PBS sounds and everything, right?
Once again for another Trekkie Top 10 list. Tonight, You know him as Trunks, and we asked him his top 10
You know him as
foods
Trunks.
for Star Trek.
Chocolate ice cream, chocolate
Classic.
fudge, and chocolate chips.
Number 10 is
Chocolate.
chocolates.
Would you like me to leave you two alone?
Number 9.
So much for Quark to Gino. To get her off caffeine, not poison her.
Number 8.
Feline supplement 127.
Number 7.
Icon presents.
Romulan
Yes.
Ale in cans. And the number 6 Trunks top Star Trek food.
The bad thing is, there was never another
Chicken sandwich.
Oh, I think there will be. Hang on one second.
This is my chicken
We
sandwich
were
and
having one
coffee.
of the
Number
No,
5.
I think you're probably right.
Gog.
Gog.
Yes, serpent worms. You like them?
Number 4.
What is that?
This is called the banana split.
Hold on,
It's
hold
quite
on, hold
possibly
on.
one of the greatest things in the universe.
A banana split. Or any ice cream product that's spewed on Wesley. Number 3.
What
is it?
It is. It is green.
A chicken sandwich and coffee.
Tea, Earl Grey, hot. Tea, Earl Grey, hot. Earl Grey. Tea, Earl Grey, hot.
Number 2.
Tea. Earl Grey, perhaps.
See, this one, I think number 4 is supposed to be 10 banana split.
Tea, Earl Grey.
Ah,
Remember, because it was supposed to, it was
Tea, Earl Grey,
the
hot.
one with you.
Tea, Earl Grey, hot.
right.
Earl Grey, hot.
Yes.
Would you like some?
Because that had kind of the tag on it, the punchline.
And the number 1 Trunks food from Star Trek. Toulouse.
And I got to whip out a little Klingon there at the end in my radio announcer voice, which is something else that had never happened. The Jichach Tuluth.
Would you like some tea?
No.
That's what I call it. A restructure of the pizza.
Keep it right here for more
No.
Trekkie Top 10
Um,
on the Star Trek Sci-Fi Network.
Now, again, the clips, I think there were a couple of clips that you had hoped to have in there that we didn't have. And the reason for that was, again, I was limited to what I could put in the promo by what, I was limited to what I could put in the promo by what was on YouTube already. Like I had to only go with the clips I could find on the internet, sort of illegally download them, or, you can pull stuff off YouTube the way.
That's what I call a touch of the creature.
That's what I call a wee touch of the creature. Oh, I mean, you can see the fun that we have just sort of just fucking around. And I mean, it got to the point where it almost got a life of its own. Like, God, if only I could get a job putting this shit together. I don't even know if this stuff would ever be something I could, put on a resume, but I don't even care. Like, it was just so much fun to do. And then to sort of see it occasionally pop up on other people's channels, that was the real kicker. I swear to God, it was like such a delight that people enjoyed it to the point where, and then you'd see people in the chat room going, what the fuck did I just watch? What is this channel? How do you have this production?
Exactly. It started on my channel.
Yeah.
It started on the Star Car with me, and then you branched over and did something for Downlord. And then when we made the collective, you did something for Tycon, and then transferred some more of mine on there, and people were like, "Oh, I want that on my channel. I want this kind of thing." And I was like,
And
"I can't do this kind of stuff." These are just like fun things we did. It was just like embraced by the community.
yeah, and that's
Like,
kind of the thing.
Everybody liked it. And then what's his name? A couple of them did other ones for me where they had like space battles and stuff like that.
Right, that was the other thing that happened that I didn't expect, was that other people started getting ideas and doing their own videos. And that was no skin off my nose whatsoever. I thought that was like the best tribute possible, was that other people realized, hey, we can make our own commercials and promos and turn this into the channel that we want it to be, powered by ourselves and nobody else, beholden to no one, no one else is telling us what to do or how to do it. That's like sort of, I think, the biggest compliment anybody could pay. Some people thought I would be like jealous or mad, and exactly the opposite was true.
Did you remember I can't remember his name, but he made the ones with the space battles and all that kind of stuff.
That would be
the one with the Cheers, the Cheers episode. Remember, he did the Cheers promo. Where it was like, everybody wants to know your name, and it was Starcar. It was like all the like
all of the moderators, yeah.
Knew.
And I got to tell you, that was
like,
possibly the highest. I mean, that one, I will say this, that one made me jealous. That one was of such stellar quality. Like, it was so good and so funny and so like perfectly timed to the music and everything. It was like, oh man, I wish I had come up with that. But at least, you know, I mean, it was like sugar. I mean, it was like eating candy. It was so like delicious. Literally, it was just like awesome.
I still have them to this day. I still have them saved on a separate hard drive, so they'll never be lost.
Well, keep them
all on a separate hard drive, so they'll never be lost. I still have them.
Yeah.
So therefore, Starcar comes on, if somebody wants to see a bump or a promo, it's always there, all the way from Todd's one to freaking the Battle of Deep Space Trek.
Yeah. I mean,
Starcar promos.
There was there were so many channels.
The one Tedros did with Data. There was like we're like the inexplicable Mr. Data.
He was dancing. It was kind of like done in a. It was done in like a black and white style.
And he kept going around and he'd walk around and like your mother was a graphing calculator, and he'd like tell Riker, he's like, I'm sorry, my subroutines keep me from killing a human being, and he's doing stab Troy and the turbo.
It was just, I mean,
he just keep going.
The fun that we had was tremendous, and I mean, I think it's evident, right? I think if you watch these things, you can tell not only were we having a blast, but to see those things come on, and for, you know, quote unquote normal people, just regular viewers, to be watching that stuff, they had to be like, right. I don't know where it came from, but I sure as shit like it, because you will not see that anywhere on cable, anywhere on satellite, anywhere on premium, you know, pay TV, HBO, anything.
True.
It was good shit. Well, my friend, we're already at the end of my hour, so God bless you for joining me. It was a tremendous hour. You got to call my show back again sometime. I do this 5 nights a week now, I mean, partially out of boredom, but partially because I'm trying to keep my broadcasting chops up and realize that, you know, I also have news and stuff I want to say. So why the heck not use this technology that's now available and just do a live show every night?
That much is true.
Say that again?
I said that much is true.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not sure if I can go on 5 nights a day. But
No. I don't. You don't have to call me 5 nights a week, but
anytime I can.
You do have to call sometime, and do bring your channel back. That I do demand, because I miss the shit out of your channel. And as soon as your computer gets back up, or it's possible, at least hop in the damn chat room once in a while. Let us all know you're okay, huh?
I'm okay. I may jump in there when I get off here.
Fantastic. I will see you in there, my friend. And for those of you watching, this is Thursday night. That's the end of my week here. We will do my fast food, junk food podcast Saturday night at this time. And then join me again Sunday night right here at 10 p.m. on the West Coast and 0600 GMT for cBas After Dark. Have a great weekend, everybody.